And you know what? Let me give an opinion on the fourth one in one sentence. John Collins being worth $25 million a year is laughable. Now on
What?
to you.
Why is that laughable?
Now he is a Trae Young merchant. Now you would not expect this level of Trae Young respect from a Knick fan, I know. But if you look throughout the careers of Chris Paul, James Harden, soon to be Luka Doncic, and Trae Young, you will find numerous big men who are not that good at the game of basketball, who, via the pick and roll wizardry of their lead ball handler, were legitimately backpacked to their next contract, being bigger than what their previous one was. Look at Clint Capella there in Houston. Now, you can say he's a very good center right now. Him getting paid all the way back then when he couldn't even pass out of the short roll, Harden had him looking really good. I think Collins is one of those players who thrives in transition due to athleticism, who isn't good enough to demand the ball in his own hands. So he doesn't have the ball in his hands and doesn't have the passing or playmaking chops to be a secondary or tertiary creator. So he's a rim running big out there that can't defend the rim. So you have to play him at power forward. And now we're looking at a case of glorified Obi Toppin.
But if he's in, like, I understand that maybe like him at face value or him, if you take him away from a guy like Trae Young, maybe he's not worth that money. But they're in such a great position there. And if they play so well together, why not give him the money? He's going to get, like, a team like Minnesota, I think, was in on him, right? Like, he would have gotten more than that
Yeah, I don't know.
somewhere.
I don't know how good it is that, that Minnesota was in on him.
But what I'm saying is,
I would counter that the NBA salary cap ensures that every dollar that you dole out has to be calculated. And I think they could have gotten a better basketball player or a collection of better basketball players with that cap space. I mean, look at their books now. They have Gallinari, Collins, Capella, all on these long-term deals. Trae Young got the help he needed, but what happens when that team hits a ceiling again and again and again? What are you going to do? They're trying to dump Reddish for a first rounder because they calculated that a fresh rookie cycle would be more valuable than paying him. And then, they're not in a position of, oh, we can make things happen because their cap is full, because they went kind of not all in, but pretty damn in on this core now that they extended Collins. I believe they might be operating over the cap. If not now, then very soon. I'm gonna respect Trae Young and say that he deserves a better co-star. We can look to his partner, his co-trade mate in the infamous draft night trade between him and Doncic. Look how Doncic is in Dallas, stuck with a mediocre, overpaid power forward. There's a ceiling. There's a clear ceiling on the team, and there was no reason for it. But both teams chose to go out of their way to hand out those giant contracts to those overrated players. They're going to have to fix their screw ups at some point, but that's a later problem for them, I guess. So cool that they got the cool dunk man back for $25 million a year.
Man. Dude, he was like the second best player on a team that made a deep run, you know? Like, I understand
And
that.
I'm going to give the credit to Trae Young for being the a catalyst of that offense. I'm not saying that if, and like, for example, let's go out west real quick and then we can switch topics. But I want to relate this to another team so that you get what I'm saying fully. Let's look out west at a certain play initiator and play finisher that play in Staples Center, well known by everyone as LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Now, I don't discredit Anthony Davis for having the opportunity to play with LeBron James, but I don't say that, they're like the 1 and 2 option. Like, AD is the play finisher. That's his job. And what he can do once he gets the ball in his hands to finish plays is put the ball on the floor, take it to the rim, hit a jump shot from deep. John Collins maybe has the 3-point shooting coming along. He can't. I'm not trusting him on a team as good as the Hawks are trying to be in Anthony Davis's role. So he's not a second option. He's not, Gallinari can do more on offense than he can. Their problem with him is getting him to be healthy. Collins is a rim runner who can't have a center's effect on defense. You're stuck playing him at the 4. Now, it's not a bad thing entirely. He's a good player. He's just not so good that you hamper your cap situation for the next several seasons at the cost of keeping him on the team. I think what he does for that team, because of how a good Trae Young is more replaceable than people think.
I think you're both correct. Now, Jack, you said that Collins definitely was worth the money, and he is a good player. Now, there is potential he can be an all-star. I don't think that's out of the question. You definitely need to keep Trae Young's minion with him. But Kris is also correct that overpay, like he did get overpaid. And with how this market was lined up for this season, as we said at the beginning of the show in the intro, it was a pretty thin class. Now, you can say in the normal free agency, Lowry doesn't get 3 for 90, that DeRozan doesn't get the 4 for 85 or whatever he got. Collins wouldn't get the 5 for 125.
Was it 3 for 85? No, it was 4
I think it was 3 for 85.
Three for 85, not 4. 4 for 85 wouldn't have been that bad. It was 3 for 85.
3 for 85.
That was 3 for 84. We're talking
DeRozan.
Bulls, DeRozan.
All right.
3 for 84.
But the point is that in this type of market, when we saw people were getting contracts left and right, you had to overpay to keep your guys or to get new ones away, because this was a restricted free agent kind of heavy class, on top of the fact that this was a market set up where pretty much the theme was anyone gets paid. And I think you're both very correct, but at the same time, you're both coming at it from two different angles. And Jack Roach, I think with the Collins thing, I wanted you to go a little bit deeper on it. Do you see him getting to the all-star level that a lot of people?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely see him as an all-star. I don't think he's like an Anthony Davis type player, but I think that's unfair to expect him to be he's never been an Anthony Davis type player.
Right.
And yeah, is it concerning that he puts up 14 points and 9 rebounds in the playoffs? Absolutely, because, the game slows down. And I don't think that he is like this, 1 and number 2 guy like Davis is. And I understand what you said, Kris, but I just don't think that it's smart to blow up the nucleus that you have in Atlanta when you made such progress in that first year of adding on all those new additions. So I think that it's fair to keep them together. And you know what? Like giving John Collins, a guy his age, playing that well, $25 million, I just don't think that that's a huge overpay, especially at the cost of keeping that team together.